Hi there. For our last tutorial video, we are talking about building creating our Google Classroom, and this might be a refresher, but if it's not, we're going to go through the basics of um, setting up your classroom. And again, for this course, either you could set up a mock class, so you could start from the beginning, or you could use something that you've already used, or you know, maybe you could use something that you're using currently. That is all up to you. When we talk about this Google Classroom Refresher and setting up your classroom, I always organize my thoughts in an outline so you can kind of follow where I'm going with this. And I'm going to use this outline as a focal point. But basically, we're going to just go through a quick refresher. Why Google Classroom? So we've been talking about the mission control. We've been talking about how we can support Bright Bytes data or the Iowa Core. But Classroom, in its essence, um, some people say it's not a learning management system. Some say it is. As far as like a content management system, I would say that that is maybe more aligned with what it is. A classroom is a tool designed to help teachers and students stay organized, communicate with their class, and go paperless. So a brief definition, who is eligible? So if you do not know if you're eligible or not, it really does depend on your district. But if you are a Google Apps for Education district and you have a domain under Google Apps for Education, and your Google admin has turned on Google Classroom, then typically any student who has a GAF account, a Gmail account, can use Google Classroom. And I don't know that you necessarily have to have a Gmail account. I would have to double check that, but um, at least have a Drive account so they can put their files into their Drive, which you can have Drive without a Gmail account. But if your school is a GAF school and you have a domain and it's set up, you can set yours up very quickly by going to classroom.google.com. Open that in a new window. If you've never set it up before, I won't necessarily have that tutorial here, but you select that you're a teacher and ensure that you're using your district's domain. These are just examples, but maybe your domain is your name at whatever school you're at, .k12.iowa.us, or it's your name at your school plus your mascot.org. It just kind of depends on how your school has that set up. You will know very quickly, though, if you have access to Google Classroom, because when you get signed up, and I can't show you because I've already signed up, it'll say it's not available at your domain. Okay, organizing your classes. So the classes screen, when we first get to classroom.google.com, we're going to see all of our different classes here that we've created. I have one that I use for tutorial sake. I don't teach in the classroom anymore. If I did teach in the classroom, I don't know. I'd probably use a combination of Google Classroom and Canvas, perhaps. But I came from a Canvas school, so I probably would still stick to Canvas. But Classroom wasn't available when I was teaching with Canvas, so can't say for certain. Anyway, your class is organized here. If I wanted to create a new class, I could do so very easily by click Create Class, or I could join a class. There are staffs that use these for professional development or different committees in the district, so you could join a class that way as well. And you can be a co-teacher, so you could join a class of a colleague. Anyway, this classes screen, very simply, we can do several things. We can rename our course, we can archive it, we can see how many students are in it. We can go and see the file structure in the Drive. In Drive, and that's one of the beauties of Google Classroom, it creates the file structure for you. So we're going to go into our course, and just briefly I'm going to show a couple things that you can do with your course. So we can look at the stream, and that is where all the things are posted on your stream for your students to look at. Excuse me. We can see our students. We can see the different permissions of our students. You can, if you don't want your students to post, you can make sure that they can't. You can have them only comment, or you can only be the one that posts and comments. You can see your class code here. You can reset it or disable it. You can select all of your students, and you could remove, email, or mute your students. Yes, you can mute a student if they are becoming an issue in your course. And you can also invite new students here. You can get them from your contacts or different groups that you have. It just kind of depends where you find your students. I would say typically though, when you first set up your course, you would want to just share your class code on the screen and have students sign in that way. Kind of like for this Moodle course. When you look at your stream here, I don't have a ton on here, but I will add things as we go through this. They have added a few things as far as, work due soon. You can see over here on the left-hand side, you can show your deleted items from your stream. So we're going to see, some of the things that I've had before that I've gotten rid of over the course of using this as a training resource. Maybe not. And, simply that is what it is. The one thing that you will want to know of for sure is the plus sign here in the bottom right corner. You can reuse posts, so if you have certain discussion starters that you use at the beginning of each week, you can reuse those posts. You can create questions. I like to create the questions to maybe start at the beginning of a new unit, do some prior knowledge work, maybe use that as a formative assessment, creating the question to garner interest in a topic. That's great. Now assignments, more specifically, we're doing a debate in class, so your assignments are your initial, research, your pros and cons, and then your actual debate script. Those would all be assignments, and I would create those here. Or I can just create an announcement that doesn't have any grade or any specific student. What am I trying to say? Students don't necessarily have to do anything with an announcement. It's just a way to maybe announce, hey, our test is postponed for tomorrow because it's raining, and it's been raining for 2 days straight. Not that that's a legitimate excuse. Another thing to share with you is the about part of your class. I think this is a nice area to definitely add some materials to your course. I've always added my syllabus and a resources document. Maybe you add a seating chart here. I don't know. It really does depend on what you need in your course and what are important materials for your course. The new calendar feature, not so new anymore, but you can view your calendar, open it in Google Calendar. You can see where your Google Drive folder is again, and your students can see that as well. Actually, I don't think students can see that, but students can see other materials here. They can email you, and you can invite a teacher as the creator of the course. And very lastly, just to share as far as like getting set up here or a refresher, you can select your theme up here in the top right-hand corner. This looks nice. It's not so rainy. So I can change my theme very quickly, or I can upload a photo. Maybe you have a photo of your students doing some sort of collaborative work in class, and you could change this banner based on what you're doing in class. Very simple. And I think that's the beauty of Google Classroom is its simplicity, and being able to quickly manage your course via Google Classroom it works really well. So that's a very brief overview. For your assignment for this, you are actually going to go through and go into your class and set things up. The very last thing, getting the most out of Google Classroom. So this is what going to allow us to take it to the next level. I do want you to go to the Chrome Web Store. You need to use a Chrome web browser if you're going to use this feature, and we're going to use this feature a lot. So you're going to have to use Chrome for the duration of this class. You're going to search, once you go to the Chrome Web Store, you're going to search Google Share to Classroom. You're going to add the extension. It's going to look like that. It's going to ask you for these permissions. And then when you see it in the right-hand corner up at the top of your screen, you know that it's available to you. We're going to use that feature quite a bit in this class, but I'm going to end it there because I'm going to run out of time here. So that's a quick overview. Please be sure that you do your assignment for this resource tutorial. The activity is in the module 1. Thank you.